Can I go talk to the door while they're doing this?
Absolutely, you can.
Hey, so do you come here often? Looking really solid. I bet you could open up for any group. We'd be real lucky if you did for ours. Honestly, I didn't think I'd meet such a solid door down here. You must be proud of what you've accomplished. And those fireballs, brilliant explosions, really got my blood boiling.
And leaking.
To be fair, the blood didn't taste boiling in my mouth, but you understand, right? We could always do some more explosions later, but we do need to get these guys out of here, so would you mind opening up? Please?
All right, recap. And we'll, Egg, I don't know how much of that you caught, but we're just going to have Jake following you and sticking with you. So Jake's there with you guys, but just won't be an overt presence unless Silly makes it on.
All right.
So last session, your group made contact with the enigmatic Serena Signet, an epic NPC, whatever that is, who treated you to a hero's feast and engaged you with her magnetic and captivating presence. A presence that Alia was the only one of you who noticed just before the end was not malicious in any way, but rather seemed to be an aura that made those around her, at least it seemed to Alia, like her more and just be that bit more willing to go along with what she wanted. But none of that was like an overt spell or anything like that. It just seemed to be something that was coming from her naturally and passively. Serena told you some of her story about being a bastard child hunted by her father or the religious order of her father, who was the High King of the Elves. She told how they killed her mother and how she escaped to Grimaldi's circus, finding sanctuary and later love in that place. After the sudden death of her father, her sister took the throne, or half sister, I guess, and she became firmly in her sister's crosshairs when she found out of her existence, suspecting that, Serena suspects that she may be the last surviving offspring of what was rumored to be over 5,000 illegitimate children sired by her father. Serena also told you of the corruption of the circus and the tragedy that unfolded there that she suspects was somehow completed at the hands of her sister, or more specifically, druids in her sister's service, and requests your help to cleanse the corruption and free her former adopted family, in her words, one way or another. And she understood that there may well be only one final solution to end their suffering. So to this end, she provided Zach with sending stones carved with a profile of her face. So she kept one stone, Zach received the other, to contact her via the sending spell up to once per day. And that sending spell has some limitations on use in terms of word limits, etc. But Zach has access to that and that information, and we can do that specifically if you decide you want to message her, and she has the ability to do the same once per 24-hour period. Also once per dawn. So after Serena just faded from view at the end of the meal that you all had together, you finally made your way to the door at the end of the tunnel, um, only to have an ominous message pop up that the Fall Season Earth episode 2 recap would be airing in 2 hours, not 2 minutes, as we covered before we started the stream. That was my stuff up. So getting back on track for canon in 2 hours' time. And as a result of having that Hero's Feast, you guys are all currently immune to poison and fear. Your wisdom saving throws are made with advantage, and you have everyone apart from Jake has done the rolls. So you've got 2d10 max and also base hit points for the next 24 hours as well. And where you found yourselves before that ominous text came up over the front of you was that you had just arrived near a large ominous door at the end of the tunnel, and you could feel the foreboding presence that it emitted, it and the dread that it conjured up in you looking at it. And haven't really looked at it in any more detail than that, other than to realize that there's a door there, and you can definitely feel that there is some power behind that. So, what do you guys want to do?
I think we need to go back and get sorted for this thing.
But we gotta see what's behind the door.
But what if
Yes.
we? I don't know. Well, 2 hours. That's not long.
Sages.
We have to
Yeah.
get stuff ready, maybe. Or don't we have to pick up the rest of our menagerie?
Menagerie.
You know,
Hmm,
the rest of the group.
We're all here.
I mean, sure, but also we're not taking the meat shields this time. You know, the other guys. I don't remember their names.
The other guy.
You know,
Why?
bloody piratey dungeony guys from the dungeon.
Why do we need them?
Well, because they can go out first. Because you know,
We can deal with traps. We're fine.
so can they. Hang on. Okay. Obviously, you want to look at the door. What's behind door number 1?
All right. Have a look at the door. See if there's a
Can
way
we
to
even
open
open it? Do we have a key? Is it locked?
You're looking specifically to see if you can open it. Can you give me an investigation check, Zach? And then Fokionis, if you want to
Yeah.
do some specific looking for something as well.
No, I'm good. I don't care if we go through the door. Zachy boy, however.
Fokionis is like, we'll do Zach first, and then we'll see what Alia wants to do.
18 plus 7 is
Wow,
25.
that's a lot. All right, Zach. You, as Rudy mentioned, like just standing near it, you could feel that the power emanating from that door, but not just that there's a sense of power, there's a real oppressive, foreboding presence. Like if a door was going to be described as ominous, this is it. It stands around 10 feet tall, and it's at least 8 feet wide. It's crafted of you can't tell, even with your high roll, you can't tell exactly what the wood is, but it is a really dark color. It's weathered. It looks almost impenetrable. You can't see too much in the way of joins or gaps in it. It looks like something that has been built to last, and almost like it's been there forever and will remain there forever. You do see with your 18 plus that the surface is etched with some really intricate symbols and sigils that you can't tell, like you can't make meaning from them, and they almost seem to pulse with almost a heartbeat just on the, like when you're not looking at them directly and you just catch it out of your periphery. There definitely seems to be a presence or an energy in there that sits behind those symbols and sigils. In your investigation, hesitantly, but you do reach out to touch the door with no ill effect, which is why I'm getting your character to do it. And you feel that it's, despite looking so worn, it is incredibly smooth to the touch, smoother than any timber, no matter how well treated or built you'd experienced on real life Earth. But it's also seems really strangely cool to the touch, whereas you would expect with what seems to be such power pulsing through it that there may be heat or energy coming from it. It's almost the opposite. And finally, with that roll, you notice two other things. The first is a series of metal bands, a really dark, unknown metal alloy. It's almost difficult to tell where it ends and the wood begins, or vice versa, but it's clearly reinforcing that door. And at the edges, as it hits the edge of the door frame, there are really small little jagged edges that don't look like they would do too much on their own, but they really have an aura of that foreboding and danger attached to them. And finally, it's hard to miss everybody who's there and is even just like giving this thing a glance. You see in the center of the door itself, at what is at the bottom of its snout, is at your eye level. There is a really large, overbearing symbol protruding, and it looks like, I'll say initially that it looks like some kind of enormous animal skull that's long and snarling with rows of teeth that are almost uncountable. But with the role you did, and your familiarity with TV shows like Game of Thrones before your presence in this crawl, it looks to you a hell of a lot like what you've seen as like mythological and fantasy representations of dragon skulls. I think that's what you get from your like the detail you get. What you do also notice is that there doesn't seem to be any key or locking mechanism on this door. The only thing that really stands out to you, okay, you got a 25. That symbol that's at the center looks like it has a large part to play in the door opening. Oh damn, that was a high roll. Fucking hell.
High roller.
18 plus 7. That's a lot of information from the door.
Oh, dude,
Foggy Owner's
you rolled really goddamn high.
So like yeah, that's me like telling that to the other
Hey, bro.
people. I'm just
Hey.
like, oh yeah, it's like a metal alloy that's reinforcing it, and there's a skull there as well. Looks like a dragon.
And that skull is bigger, like in terms of its height. The skull itself is larger than just slightly longer than Phocyonis. Like the door's 10 feet. Like when you're picturing a dragon skull, like it's a big dragon skull. It's taking up a big section of that, around a 6.5 foot section of the door, from the bottom of the nose to the top of the brow. Just to give you that scale, because like I said, you roll bloody high.
So it's mostly dragon skull. It's palace dragon skull, is it?
Just check, sorry, Zach. So
Okay.
I said you touched the door. You said it was
Yeah.
cool and smooth.
Mhm.
Is Zachary touching that's protruding skull at all?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I mean, like freaked out by it. But
the final element before we then go to Alia and Phocyonis, so what you guys will see this happen as Zach's explaining and actually touches the skull that's protruding out, it actually just fluidly inverts into the door itself, and that the metal that's shown looks very, very similar to the metal that was being used to forge that mithril armor and chainmail, and then the mithril armor that Serena showed you was under her very skimpy clothing, and it rests inward, and you can feel that it is definitely pulsing with power. It is now inverted in front of you, and we'll move on from Zach for a sec, who's just touched it and had it invert through.
So his hands
Alia.
inverted through, or just the
No, he touched it,
It's
and
the
the metal just fluidly inverted.
okay.
So it went from protruding out of the door to
Yeah.
now there is a very clear dragon skull impression in the door itself. So we'll come back to you, Phocyonis, but Alia,
Okay.
with all of this, and the conversation Zachary and Phocyonis are having, and Zach's done some exploring, and you've seen Zach kind of explaining and investigating the door, and then it's now folded inward, that big section of skull. What would Alia like to do?
That fight behind me, but anyway. I don't fucking know. I thought it's to lick the door, but anyway.
That's what I was waiting for. That's what you've done with everything.
How you do it? Do it.
So I'm gonna lick the
you-
door.
Would you like to lick the door? All right. So give me your perception roll.
Eh? Does it taste
What
good?
else do I
Let
do?
me
Lick it.
try.
Perception. That is a 16.
16. All right. So you just manage, as you just kind of step on up, where the top of your head is just able to reach like the bottom of where the dragon's snout is, that is now fluidly imprinted itself back into the door. And it's now that the skull has pushed its way inward, you're actually feeling, you almost end up like with being a raccoon with its tongue stuck to an icy pole. Like that coolness that Zachary described has really intensified, almost like all of the heat from the door has, thankfully, you with your roll licked the door rather than the metal. But you definitely get the impression that the heat and energy of the entire structure is now focused on that the metal that is now pushed in to the door itself. And with that 15, you two get the exact same impression than what Zachary did, that with that feeling of the energy all being pulled into that central location, that it is definitely critical to the opening of that door that something needs to be done with that indentation.
Hmm.
The main thing you picked up on was the extra info was that you've actually felt the draw of that power into that central, that metal.
Oh, got a taste of it.
Yeah, you got to taste the power.
The raccoon's drunk on power.
Almost getting tongue stuck to the. I won't tell you what the DC was, but there was a DC, because I thought for sure you're going to lick this door. There was a DC that your tongue was going to be stuck to it. Just let you know, that was a possible outcome.
Could you imagine?
I'm almost disappointed you rolled a 15. Almost.
That would be funny as hell,
Oh, that's
too.
awesome.
I'd have to talk that my tongue
Yeah.
was stuck.
I could just see you guys spending 2 hours trying to get the tongue detached from it. Dumb and Dumber.
Pee
That's
on
all I
it.
did. Dumb and Dumber. You'd probably have to ask for assistance. It could be difficult for you to do that yourself, unless you're planning on cupping it. And God darn it, get a gif of that one: a raccoon cupping its own pee, dipping it on its tongue.
Oh, fuck.
He's off. He's looking.
He's way past looking.
So now what actually did happen, not our alternate realities of what ifs. Poccionus, you've seen all of this sort of unfold. You were looking at going, fuck the door. We will come to Jake if anyone would like to involve Jake in any of these combos as well. But what are you looking at now? What's Poccionus feeling, thinking? Yeah, that's exactly what I was envisioning. The Dumb and Dumber
Wait,
one.
is that? Oh no, it almost looked like Don
Raccoon.
Vito from BAM.
Nah, that's
No.
Dumb and Dumber. If you haven't
Um,
watched that movie, do yourself a
Jake-
favor on the weekend.
Jake would probably be like, Dynamite?
So you can do a team vote on
First things
on that
last.
one.
What did it taste like? Was it good earlier?
It's so good.
Woody? The toothpicks? Like, is like a battery?
I was drunk on power. Okay, cut it out.
That's exactly what it tasted like. It tasted like power.
Okay. Well, second,
Be thankful I didn't get electrocuted.
maybe that would be a good buzz. I don't know. I have a lot of experience with standing around doors. So I suggest that if we want to get in, you have to get your name on the list. So we should look for a clipboard or the door bitch, and that way we get in.
Knock 3 times, see what happens.
Because if you're on the VIP list, then you get in. That's how it works back home.
It's true.
So has anyone seen a clipboard?
Does it look like we've seen a clipboard?
Do you
I
know
looked
what a
all
clipboard
around
is?
this
I
door.
mean, if you had a clipboard, I assume you had
Do
your
you
tongue
look
stuck in it,
like
but
that sort of lizard skull on the door there?
do
And
you
I
see
think
names on
you're
that?
not on the list.
Wait, you can read lizard skull?
No, it's just
thought
a
it was a
picture,
dragon.
not a list.
There a lizard skull on the floor?
I mean, I don't know. Your head looks like a
Yeah,
lizard
I
skull.
know.
Maybe we shove
If
that
I
into
if I
the toilet.
touch the lizard, the dragon skull
Oh,
again,
buddy,
does
you
it
touch a
come
lizard
back
in your
out?
own time, eh?
All right, hang on. There's a couple of things there. So, Bocchianis, you were asking were there things?
Yes.
Do you want to be specifically looking for like
Looking for a
symbols?
clipboard. I just said that, bro.
Okay, then can you give me an investigation check, and then we'll come back to your question, Zach.
Investigation.
And
at
these two things can be
disadvantage
happening
or stupidity.
simultaneously. But you're specifically looking for something, so you're not perceiving it. You are investigating the
Yeah,
surroundings. for
investigation at
clipboard or
disadvantage.
equivalent.
Stupid.
And Aaliyah's just looking the door trying to get more power.
11.
What are you doing investigation at disadvantage for?
No, I wasn't. I just was.
Okay, that's a good.
It is already at -1, just naturally.
Oh,
So,
I see. 11. Look, mate, you give it your best look, and you're smart enough to know that you're not looking for like a literal clipboard. Like you're looking for the big lizard equivalent, like a big lizard paw print board or something like dinosaur tracks in the flooring that would be indicating that's how you'd sign your names. If you're a giant lizard dragon person, you're not going to be fumbling around with the pen. You're a smart man. You know these things. But sadly, you don't see
don't see it.
anything like that.
Unless there's a floor mat with a key underneath, I don't know.
You don't find one of those either. I will give you with an 11, because you're peering really closely at the floor and the other areas around, looking for those, where you reckon they'd have to slot their feet into to make sure they're on the list, or whoever's checking the list to look down at it. You're not exactly sure how that works, but you're trying to join the dots of what giant lizard people do, or dragons, as Zach had picked up on and shared with you guys of what he thought it was. You do notice that there definitely does seem to be quite a bit of scuffing like on the floor around the entrance of that door, like scuffing and scrape marks, but definitely no list-worthy items.
Well, don't know, guys. I can't find no one.
All right, and as that's happening and Fockianis is saying this, Zach, what did you want to do?
I was just trying to touch the inverted skull. It was poking out of the door first, and then it so it's poking out the other side.
Yep, so it's inverted, so it's now indented into the door.
Yeah, so if I put my hand in and touch it again,
what if your hand gets stuck?
back quickly? Does it move back out towards it?
Yep. So as you reach in and do that, I need, this is just for flavor, but can you just give me a dexterity? It's not a saving throw. It's not going to hurt. Just a straight dexterity roll, and applying whatever, if you have any benefits or negatives.
Oh, God.
Are we?
Acrobatics? No.
Okay. So you do reach in and touch it. That metal sort of ripples briefly and then almost instantaneously, whereas before it kind of receded in, it pops straight back out into that solid protruding shape, taking your hand with it. Your glove stays on the metal and your hand comes back without it, but as the face sort of hits the full protrusion, your glove then drops to the floor. So it was what Ali was at risk of having her tongue get stuck to that metal. Your gloves, from the small amount of moisture and having been in the the water not that long ago, froze, but then were released rather rapidly as well. What also happens at that point to all of you, that because you partook in the feast won't actually affect your characters, but you feel just a shockwave come out of the door itself as the face slams back out into protruding, and and you can all feel that this is designed to scare the ever-loving shit out of you and frighten each of you. But because of the feast that you partook in, you can all recognize it. You can feel that there is that fear and foreboding, but it just washes over you and doesn't have any effect. But that was propelled outward from the door after Zachary touched it the second time, and it came back out.
Trying to spook us.
Right, so that's the
Won't work.
key.
We're too
We
good.
have not. No, yes, maybe. Oh dear.
So now Jake had a plan that Jake had suggested many times and that Zachary had alluded to moments ago. I will leave it with you guys as a party. If you think that Jake would do something with the dynamite like Zachary was saying, I'm
I
happy
would.
for that. Oh shit! Holy crap! That just scared the. That just. I didn't have a hero's feast. That did frighten me.
Would you say it was a dynamite entrance?
It was
Oh,
a
oh,
dynamic dynamite
I would
entrance.
say you exploded on the scene.
Oh no.
What good timing for you to arrive. Well, Jake can make Jake's own decision. Do you want a quick recap on what's happened,
I've
Lily?
already
I don't know
gotten
how
a
much you
quick
caught.
recap. I've been
Okay.
in the chat for about 6-7 minutes.
Okay.
So explosions?
I mean, it looks magical. I'm not sure. And like reinforced. I'm not sure explosions work. I mean, it could if you want to use your dynamite. Like,
How much dynamite would we need? I've got a fair amount.
You do have a fair
That is
amount, minus
gross.
the
You're
one
the-
that's now
you're
in
the
Serena's pocket.
expert on dynamite.
I wouldn't go as far as to say expert.
And who gave you all the dynamite?
You did? I feel like that's a poor lapse in your judgment, though.
Too late now.
God damn it.
We could go 3, we could go 6, we could go 12, 15.
Are we
18?
trying to blow the door up or just the
Or the whole town.
apparent inverted mechanism?
I'm just here to explode things.
Ah,
Yeah, use 3 on it.
I'm gonna use 6 on it then.
I'm gonna
God.
I'm gonna walk back.
I'm gonna
this way.
step back
I'm gonna
a
walk
lot.
We'll
Yeah,
get to what the
I
rest
am
of you
as
guys
well.
are doing. So,
back. Fucking run away.
and are you guys like basically simultaneously doing this as Jake is getting the dynamite out? You already backing away, or is anyone
Yep.
hanging around? Okay, no worries. So we'll get to how
Yeah,
far you
I
go
might
shortly.
go. Yeah.
Jake, can you talk me through what your plan is here with the dynamite? Are you attempting to like jury rig a fuse, like setting a fuse? Are you planning
I'm gonna try
on?
and run really fast.
Oh my god! All right. Well, talk me through what you got. First off, how many sticks of dynamite did you say you're using?
So I'm using 6 sticks, but they will be packed into 2-3 bits.
Yep. And where are you looking to place them on the door?
If I can, I want to try and like jam it into corners.
Okay, so the best you're going to be able to do, like you can roll to investigate it more closely, but just from looking at the door without any real close examination, there doesn't appear to be any real clear gaps or crevices. But you can definitely, without any kind of, with just your passive dexterity, you can easily like rest the dynamite standing upright up against the
Yeah, I'd
bottom
like one
sides
on
of the door
either
frame.
side of the bottom. Yeah.
Yep, you can certainly place them there. And like there is just a little bit of a natural groove to the where the door sits in the stonework. It's minor, but it's enough, and the curvature of the dynamite easily rests up against, like, one of the 3 sticks easily rests up against that groove. All right, let's have a look at some.
Now, would you all like to see a magic trick? Here in my hand is a regular sword. However,
Yeah. No.
if I point it
good
here
job.
at the
If
dynamite,
you're doing that, Jake, I'm going to watch check over here in case anyone comes.
you
But
don't want to see the explosion?
I'm pretty sure I see it from here.
What I want you to watch.
Oh no, I'm looking. I'm watching. Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm more blocking my ears.
So, you guys like spaghetti?
Oh my god! So you're... oh shit!
And then I will drop the sword and run.
Okay, I get you. I get you. So you're not actually touching the sword of the fuse. You're dropping and running. Okay, so what's your movement speed?
My D&D character sheet's still loading.
I can load it up in Foundry. Hang on, I've got you synced over. So you're 30 feet.
Is it possible that I can use my rogue dash as well?
Ooh.
I think that would be an excellent idea. So we are going to do some rolls though, because you're essentially creating like an Indiana Jones moment here, where the dynamite is going to be 6 sticks of dynamite are going to be exploding in a steadily enlarging radius 5 feet at a time behind you as you run.
Good.
So this is now the 6 feet, it increases up to a maximum of 20 feet. So the blast radius is 20 feet. All of you guys said that you were moving away while Jake was getting set up. You are all, I'll tell you,
Moving,
you
what
are
are you
all
talking
well and
about?
truly you are all 30 feet or more back down the hallway. So it's Jake who's got to get out of the 20-foot blast zone. So you've definitely got the we'll give you doubling of the speed you're sprinting with. So not necessarily the sorry, I nearly confused myself there. So as you say dynamite and you drop your sword down onto the fuse, the first like stick starts up. Sorry, Siri decided that it was going to start trying to talk to me on the phone. I'm sorry if you guys could hear that, not through the microphone. It begins an eruption as the rest of you are watching. It's like this slow motion montage as you see Jake drop, turn, and almost leap that first 5 feet as the dynamite begins to explode and erupt behind you, so that you've now got this essentially silhouette of Jake that is attempting to get out of the blast radius of this dynamite. Now, I need you to make for me, Jake, as you've traversed that first 5 feet. Can you give me a dexterity saving throw, please?
I hate to be a bother, but do you still have my character sheet up? I'm running
Yes.
on 1.5 upload and download, so it's just taking
Yep.
forever.
Ooh,
No, I can do that. I can do that.
more hamsters.
Well, we've got an 18.
Oh, okay. I was just about to do your saving throw. All right. So the first you've turned, dropped, you made the first 5 feet as the like basically a leap away from your sword as you dropped it. You've now, as you guys are watching, like that explosion is just sort of statically going boom, boom, as the dynamite is just erupting, but muted a little bit by the power of what it's actually blowing up against. We're now 10 feet out. Jake, I need you to make another dexterity saving throw.
16.
All right, so we've got 2 successes. There is going to be some damage here, so let me just because you've saved twice, so you take half the damage. So I'm
You guys
treating
could
these.
heal me, right?
Totally.
Gonna have to add burn marks to Jake's character.
I'm deliberately having these dynamite go off in the way they're going, so you're not having to take 66 of the damage each time, and also because it doesn't make sense for you to, if it's a steadily erupting presence. So we've got, what have we got there? 9 sticks of dynamite.
9, I thought we had 6.
No, sorry, 6
Yeah,
sticks of
it's-
dynamite. Do apologize. Do apologize.
Jeez.
Try to kill
2
off a
sticks
second
are going.
character.
2 sticks
I
are
know,
going.
right?
Fine. All
It's a
right.
bit more than fucking custard damage.
All right. Oh, lucky that was a shit roll. So that's... Wow, that's really shit. So in that first instance, you take 5 points of bludgeoning damage just from the shockwave that's hitting you. But because of the success of that first roll, Jake, it sort of pushes you forward into your next one, which was also a successful one. So you've taken 5 points of bludgeoning damage first off. Well, that one's a bit nastier. With the next one, you take a further, I got to halve that. You take a further 11 points of bludgeoning damage as that second lot of dynamite goes off and the shockwave hits you from that. So you're up to a total of 16 damage so far from me. And can you, but all of these shockwaves and like being peppered from the debris that's been blown up by the explosion, you're almost been pushed out of the danger zone. Can you make one final saving throw for me, please, with your dex and see what happens?
Come on.
So I have bad news.
What did you roll?
No,
Would you like to guess?
it's a fucking
A
0.
one.
isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
A 1 or a
I
0?
don't know what my modifier is because I can't have my character open at the moment. So I'm
I can
hoping
give you that.
it's
Hang on.
not a 0.
No.
No, your dexterity is +6.
I haven't added that onto anything.
So yeah, you already passed. Like those previous 2 rolls are passes as they were. Look, in this instance, a natural 1 is really only going to add flavor to what's happening. So what you guys see with that, what is in total 7, you see Jake stumble, like he's been pushed forward. Those concussive blasts have been rocking him, but he's managed to keep his feet. And it almost looks like he's, doing that thing of like running on an escalator and pushing forward and like looking to be going extra far because of the shockwaves that are hitting him. But that final concussive blast that hits as the last of the dynamite goes off behind him sends Jake sprawling forward. Jake, you feel skin just scraping off your face and chest, and the exposed skin that you've got out with your current Serena outfit, leaving a lot of skin to be scraped as if you'd fallen off a motorbike at high speed. So
Jake and
you
Heimer?
just see Jake face plant and skid a good 10 feet at the end of the explosions, and as the smoke's clearing behind him, Jake, with that failed one. You take this is a bad one. I think Jake's going to be a bit sleepy. You take 21 points of bludgeoning damage on that failed
Is that with
explosion.
Jake's extra HP added on from the dinner first?
Jake had. Well, I'll let Lily sort those, but it was 5, 15, 21.
What?
Did
So
you
the
Lily,
three-
did you see that Spa needed us to roll 2d10 to
No,
add
I've been
max
really
HP?
busy dealing with something most of
Okay,
today.
No, that's all
okay.
good. So if you've got
Roll
2d10 on
2d10 and
hand,
roll good.
this is going to be very helpful for Jake. So
Yeah, let's not
the
curse
the,
it.
the hero's feast
9
granted you 9. Okay.
and 6.
Yeah,
69.
15. Nice.
All right. And did you do your short rest? So like your hit point dice, etc.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me sync you up with D&D Beyond. All right, I've got you there. Would you say 9?
6 and 9, which is 15.
All right.
I'm
Thank
so
you.
glad someone can math.
I
I didn't
can't.
hear what she said. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
All right. So that brought you up to your starting point before all this happened was 42 hit points out of 60. Just
60
So
keep in
what
mind
you're
we have to
saying
go back.
is I'm alive.
So what you just took, holy shit, you have literal 1 HP.
Can I please like slowly raise my arm with a thumb, please?
So
Just on the floor.
Oh,
good.
shit.
I'm
You-
good, guys. Did you see the explosion?
Yep. and in all of that, actually, I will do that to say. So yeah, Jake is. You guys are ended up about a good 60 feet away, so you had like a bird's eye view of all of this, and you could feel what ended up being like a warm shockwave that passed over you, and it was almost pleasant from where you were standing until the smell, that iron smell of blood from Jake scraping across the ground, and also the wounds are inflicted from the explosion, and then the acrid smell of almost bacon from the flesh that has been singed in his partially cooked form, where he's now nearly dead, but giving you a thumbs up. You guys see all of that unfold, but he is alive. That sword was a magic item, so it will be around somewhere. He might just have to do a bit of scouting around to find it. But at the moment, yeah, you guys can see Jake ahead of you, and the door is sort of veiled, or where the door may or may not be, is veiled in smoke at the moment. You don't have a clear view of it. There's this a
Did
bit
it
went on there.
work?
Is the smoke clear? Did we see the door?
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Just go up without me. I'll be right up. Men like scars, right? I mean, women like scars, right?
Yes.
Aren't
both
you a
physical and
changeling?
emotional.
Can't you just change out of them?
I still have a base form.
Ah,
Is that a
well,
no? Do you not like scars?
I mean,
Did it at least look cool?
they have. They did look very cool. No one
When you
was
just change
recording. I
what it
left
looks
my
like if you
phone
don't like it anyway.
in my other pants. Sorry.
Oh,
Don't
Yeah,
try
you
me. I have a vape in my hand. I'm not afraid to throw
did
it.
look very, very cool.
What's
Yeah, I
the
don't know, maybe throw
damage
the
on
flaming
vape?
sword at it
Right.
next time. I don't
oh
know.
that would have been smart.
Like a roll of d6, fucking 1d6, or
But no, yeah, you're
and it's melee
flying
or like piercing.
Superman.
So with all of the sympathy that your group has, Fokionis is looking over the almost corpse of Jake to see whether the door's still there or not. But I'm assuming your group is kind of moving their way up towards Jake, and Jake's moving from like the the collapsed thumbs up to at least a sitting position. But Jake, you're pretty fucked up. You're very compromised at the moment. So if you are moving up to Jake, by the time you guys get to him in his still wretched state, that smoke has cleared, and you can definitely see that like that dynamite did definite damage to the the flooring around the door, and that seems to be where a lot of the debris has come from that hit Jake. But the door itself doesn't appear to have been harmed in any way. In fact, it is now starting to glow and beginning to glow a very deep orangey red color itself.
Or door fight back.
And the
Your
smoke
shade used more.
is dissipating.
You
And as you guys are standing there looking at it, like as the second by second, that color is intensifying.
Can someone move me away from the door, please?
Yeah. Are we, in terms of moving back, did we move back to where we say had that fight behind some of the semi-boulderous pillars in the water?
In the time that you had, like basically moving away from Jake and then watching all of this unfold, you guys ended up about 60 feet away. I did just say that because I thought your group was heading back towards Jake because he's very compromised. Jake's about, after being hit and pushed forward and tripping and face planting, he's about 30 feet away from the door. You guys are about 60 feet away.
Right.
But if you went back to Jake, you are currently 30 feet away from the door.
Right. And so, in terms of physical objects between Jake, us, and the door, are there any? Because we don't have that map open anymore, do we?
Where I've got it, essentially, you guys are. If you picture this section is basically a straight section. You are 60 feet back in a very big, like one of those reinforced sections of the tunnel system. It's a straight shot to the door, and you can see it very clearly with your
Right,
vision.
so
and
it's
with you
not
standing
back,
at Jake,
say,
it's
to
only
where
30
the
feet
open
away.
water area was.
No,
No, right.
you didn't have that kind of time, and
No, I
especially
wasn't
not
sure.
if you were witnessing the what unfolded there with Jake and wishing that you had you could have been going viral on all of the social media platforms in the olden days Earth if you've been able to capture that particular montage.
Yeah.
But I guess I need at this point to know, were you guys heading up to Jake?
Well, we have to grab them and run away more, I
Yeah.
think, don't we?
Yeah, you run all the way up to him. As soon
Let's
as
get them and keep
explosions go.
running back towards away from the door.
So
From
as
the
you
very
get to
angry-looking door.
Jake,
What?
and Fokionis and Zachary are
I can see your shadow every time, dickhead.
well
Jeez.
Alia deals with gnome infestations. She's back. As you've, because that takes a few seconds, or it takes a little bit of time to get up to Jake, but then you've also got to get him up. And assuming from the way you're talking that Fokionis and Zachary are assisting Jake, because he definitely needs the help being on 1 HP, and he's the backs of his legs and his back are an absolute mess. They're shredded. At this point, Jake would definitely be having trouble walking on his own, let alone running. And that glow that was sort of concentrating on the door has actually, that metal that you've now seen kind of go recess and go in appears to have sucked inwards, is glowing with that now fiery burning color to the point that it erupts and a fireball starts heading out of that towards you.
No.
But the door rolled shit on that one, so that fireball actually arcs, as it looks like it's just like shit. Good night, Irene. But it arcs over the top of you and lands about 15 feet behind you. Just a huge eruption of fire and flame and heat, and indents a crater, scorched crater into the earth. And you guys watch all of this happen as it goes over the top of you, and you see the door is not quite done because it just appears to have absorbed a shitload of explosive energy, and it appears to be getting ready to go again. So it appears to be charging that color up again in the center. What would you guys like to do?
Run.
Run.
Run away very quickly.
All right. So
Well, hang on. We've got to go for Jake before the next wave.
No, it's okay.
well, they did
Right,
that while you were dealing with
we
the
already
gnome
there?
infestation. Yeah.
Oh.
So that was, so Zachary and Fokionis have gone. Well, I'm not sure whether you went with them earlier, but went down to get Jake. And are now currently, and with your assistance, they'll be able to move faster with 3 than with 2. But are now moving away, and that fireball has arced over your entire party.
Look like I'm helping, but I'm just hanging on because everyone else is taller than me. So I'm just hanging in there helping.
Absolutely perfect. Arms up, looking like, doing all the heavy lifting, where the paws, if you look closely, are just barely brushing against Jake's tunic, probably causing more pain than anything from that shredded flesh on his chest. All right. And as you guys are moving as fast as you can, which is essentially going to be half your movement speed with the, or 2/3 your movement speed with 3 of you assisting Jake. Yep.
Yeah, maybe actually, I cast haste on Fokionis, so he can just carry
all of us. No.
just carry Jake by
Yep.
himself, and then so we can all
Get the fuck out of there.
yeah. We can all
Yeah,
run
absolutely.
normally
So you can all go
run
at your normal movement
faster.
speed? Absolutely. Yep.
Well,
Go for it.
Fokionis
Gosh,
is fast.
I was already at normal
Yeah.
speed.
But Fokionis has got haste on, but he's also carrying Jake.
Yeah, so his
Instead of
speed's
moving
doubled,
with
then
disadvantage, I'm
halved.
moving it
Then
normal.
half. So he's
And
moving in
then-
basically his normal. Yep.
And he gets an extra action he can use to dash.
So he can be
Right.
moving twice as fast.
And
Okay.
his speed's 40, which is faster than all of us anyway.
He would have been outstripping you guys 40? Yeah.
Yes, you would have
Already,
been
but
engaging in very much. Get the
I
fuck out of there.
had forgotten the extra action with the haste. So thank you. I was working on the double and half. Yeah, so absolutely. And Fokionis essentially grabbing Jake, and Alia is still hands up as the body disappears past her. And she's running along with Zach, starting to fall behind a little bit with those stumpy little halfling raccoon legs. Brutus is staying with you, as is your Drake. They're all matching pace with. So you've got kind of the little Alia party, Zach in between, and the Fokionis Jake party is now starting to stretch away a bit. And that second fireball erupts, and the door is rolling like shit, which is good for you guys. So this time it comes a little bit closer, but it's almost couldn't have done this deliberately better. But that fireball explodes in between Fokionis and Zachary as you guys are running. So essentially just where Fokionis has come from, and just before Zachary's about to land in the splash zone, it erupts, blows outward, the heat dissipates, and Zach goes flying through the flames. By the time Alia gets there, it's gone. And with where you guys are now, you are about 50 feet. So the door is going to get all right. This time around, the door does make a hit. Can I get, because it'll be you guys at the back, so Alia, can you give me a dexterity saving throw, please?
No.
Is that at advantage?
Okay. No.
Oh,
Oh, actually, the Hero's Feast give you an advantage on dexterity. I think it's wisdom saving throws it gives you the
I think
advantage
he said
on.
wisdom. Yeah, he said wisdom.
It's wisdom.
Get
Ali
there.
was a 14.
Oh,
Brutus was a 17. I couldn't remember. Are you able to roll these guys now? Should I not roll them? I was just rolling the companions because I couldn't remember if you could roll them or not. If they didn't make the save, I'm happy for you to roll them.
I can roll the Drake, but I cannot
look-
roll Brutus.
I don't know why you can't. Anyway, if you want to re-roll the Drake, feel free. I thought I had to roll all of them.
17 looks good.
Okay.
Okay.
So all three of you actually made your saving throws on the eruption that's come out your way, but you do need to. So you'll take half damage of. Holy shit!
Bad roll?
No.
Reroll? Can I use bits to like make you reroll?
That's not a bad channel point redemption, to be honest.
All right.
Camera goes, nah, fuck off.
You all take
Oh shit.
because all three of the little Alia party.
All right.
So you guys take. Luckily, it's being halved, is what I will say. You all take 14 points of bludgeoning damage.
Hey.
So Brutus actually collapses.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
Doesn't.
Yeah, he does.
He's
He
on
was on
16 HP.
He was on 13 out of 30. Where'd you get his 16 from?
Where'd you get 13 from? Okay.
Because
I thought it was 19 plus his 11, which gave him 30.
That's his max, but he was still
Right.
hurt from the previous
There's
battle, and he doesn't
13
have.
plus 11 gives him 24. So minus the 14 gives him 10 HP.
No, because before he started, he was on just bloody. Let me see if I do that.
Yeah, but
So
you
he
said
was
you
on.
told me to roll for the hero feast, which gave him an extra 11 HP. Did it not?
It did, but he hadn't been given any kind of rest or healing through 2 lots of being hurt
Oh,
with
so that's
explosions and
why
battles.
13.
And he was on. Yeah, he was on 13 because you gave him an extra 11. He was on 2 HP before you gave him the extra 11.
I don't know. He was on 2 HP.
Yeah, he's been really hurting for quite a while. So at the moment he's not dead.
Why
He's
didn't he have a
unconscious.
rest when we all rests?
Because he's a companion, he's not a player character, so he doesn't have like hit point dice that I can roll for him.
It's just what over time.
Yeah, he'll recover. Like he recovers through his long rests. If someone knows a rule on that I don't know, because I'm flying on this and trying to do it as I go. So if there is a specific rule, I haven't been able to find it.
Everything has hit dice.
Oh, it doesn't?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then
Then
right, like on its stat sheet, it should have like health is 2d6 plus whatever. Average a certain amount, and then they're the
oh, 3d8 plus 6.
yeah, so 3d8. That's his hit die.
Oh, okay. Then he definitely would have had. All right. Let me just do. I'm just going to give him 12 hit points. So that would have had him on 25. He's then lost. Thank you for that. I didn't know that at all. 25. He's
It
lost.
doesn't usually come up.
14. Yeah. So he's on 9. Thank you for that.
Okay. So
I didn't know that he had hit dice, and I will make myself a note for Brutus and your Drake. They have hit dice, but your Drake is just resummoned if he goes low, but he's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 14 damage they took, respectively. From each
Shut
of
up!
you, lucky that you. Yeah, that was. I was
You
rolling
trust
6s and
numbers.
5s.
No, I'm
and
laughing at Dante.
so it ended up being.
So he just went through a math lesson.
It ended up being a 28 points of damage if you hadn't succeeded. That's exactly how I was feeling, except it was like that meme with the face and the shit flying out. I'm like, no, I know I wrote Brutus's thing down. I didn't know he had hit dice, so I've just learnt something new. Okay, so you've now got quite a few of you a bit bloody and battered and bruised and in pain. But as you pass that marker, you can hear like further fireballs erupting from the door, seeming to match the number of explosions that hit Jake, and then they stop. And the last couple don't even hit you guys. You've passed out of range, and they just sort of are exploding harmlessly behind you. It was only the second to last one that actually struck Alia and her little mini group that were just lagging behind a little bit, little legs spinning as fast as they could.
That went well.
Some more explosions?
No more explosions.
No.
Maybe take a rest from explosions.
Nah.
Just for a bit. Oh god.
That's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah, and then we just see the spaghetti sword just flying through the.
What is that, man?
Duck.
In one of us.
Well, none of you saw it with your passives. Saw it like come flying out past Jake. So reasonably safe to assume that it is somewhere between Jake and the door. Like you didn't see it go flying past him. And you do all inherently know that as a magic object, it's a near certainty that sword will be intact. It won't have been destroyed by those explosions.
You know, I have 15 more sticks.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Less than 15 HP.
What the fuck? When did never mind.
Alright, well, If they didn't know that we were coming before, they do now.
No, they don't.
So that as you guys are having that conversation, sort of taking a breath, you do all notice that that really rapid eruption of the fireballs, like as it was charging and then shooting them out, has stopped. And you can see from where you are, like you can see the glow of that as the door was taking that energy and apparently it appeared to be launching it out, which is the assumption you make with your passive intelligence, Zach. That has stopped and it is now in that same state as it was when you initially saw it, except now it's got some craters at its base, and the metal is protruding back out of the door again. Otherwise, it appears you can't tell actually. No, you can't tell too much more from where you are. You guys ran like fuck, so you're a good 70 feet away from it at the moment. Fokionis is about 90 feet. He's gotten down almost to the bend in the corridor with Jake.
Like that.
Have we tried asking the door nicely?
No.
Open sesame.
What dragon?
Lotions don't work. You gotta use your charm.
Okay, try
Does anyone have a
using
health
your
potion?
the last resort.
Yeah, we should, shouldn't we?
Talking.
You guys as a
Actually-
party definitely do.
Somewhere.
There is at least one health potion. Serena gave you one. You took one off the Baron, and you had one at least before you came in to this. So someone has them.
Did anyone write it down?
Oh, yeah, I did.
I did.
In Daymap. Daymap in fucking Discord.
Got our normal inventory guy is DMing.
Is that what he does for a job? Jesus.
Yeah, your luggage is in the wrong seat.
Yeah, mate.
You definitely have a couple of quite strong ones.
Yeah, didn't we get like a super duper one?
Serena gave you a very high
potion of
level
healing
one.
and a potion of supreme healing. We got
Yeah.
given on top of what we may have already had.
And I believe you had from Ivy. There was a couple of health potions from Ivy, but at least one got used. I believe there was just one potion of healing. That's like the basic potion of healing. I thought Zach had it, but I could be wrong. But that shit you guys need to manage, or you're gonna be in some serious trouble. I got enough to keep track of.
I
can't
just
keep
hold
track of all of that.
food.
But I know you definitely have, because Serena gave you the superior. She gave you a big bopper of a health potion.
I don't need a big whoppering health.
I mean,
So potion of healing.
It's not gonna hurt.
What if it does? What if we use the potion on the door? Will it throw more at me?
I mean, I feel like you just want to make the door better so you can throw more sticks of dynamite.
I smell like a burnt marshmallow.
But marshmallows are good if you put it inside biscuit. Don't worry.
You have biscuits?
Maybe Aliyah had biscuits. She got everything else in that bag.
I do not have biscuits.
Oh, no Jake S'mores.
Does anyone else taste blood?
No, it's only you on the inside. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
That's where the blood's supposed to be, so it's okay.
Yeah. Look, I think you should drink this.
What are we drinking?
It's good for you.
Rum.
Yeah.
Oh. That'll make me A-okay.
Yes. Hands supreme healing potion over.
This doesn't smell like rum.
Trust me. It's a creeper.
Rum a tum tum.
Yeah, the explosion must have affected your nose. Or something.
Maybe.
burn your nose hairs off. So yes,
Dynamite
it's
has a
smell.
negative effect on your taste.
Yeah. And probably tastes like shit too.
Was it a superior? Is that what she gave you? I'm trying. Superior.
Yeah, that's what I am trying to. Is
Yeah,
it supreme or superior or whatever? Yeah.
No, superior. It was superior. So, Jake, if you drink what you think is rum, you need to roll 8d4 plus 8 on the large red liquid corked bottle that you can barely make out. Like everything looks kind of red to you at the moment. There's more blood out of your body than in it at this point in time.
I rolled a 20, so that's back to 29.
You'd be feeling very nice.
You were right. Does feel good.
Now
So are we
drinking.
ready for round 2?
No. 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 How about we go try talk to the door?
I need to find my sword first.
Well, where's your sword gone?
Can I just like cut my hands to my mouth and yell spaghetti?
God.
Where are you, boy?
You absolutely can. Also, so Jake is now feeling a lot better. You guys just watched in Marvel because you haven't seen this too often, but just the skin knitting back together, the somewhat protruding bones just popping back into place. The clothing is still quite tattered, but that Jake himself has made a remarkable return to form and doesn't appear to have too much in the way of scarring. There are certainly he's still clearly a bit busted up, but it looks like most of it'll heal. And Jake, I will say that in the initial instance with how far away you are, you don't have any success with what you're attempting to achieve. But are you going to walk back towards the door itself as you're calling out spaghetti?
Have I been put down yet? Because I'm not gonna try and fight to be put down.
I mean,
Okay.
yeah. Let's assume I put you down to get the potion to hand to you. I mean, the rum.
The rum. Here, spaghetti. Here. That's my little fireball.
So as you guys watch, you guys can choose whether anyone's going with it, but as Jake heads back down towards the door, and the most bizarre sight of this halfling that moments ago was leaking bodily fluids everywhere, is now looking in pretty decent nick, but still seems maybe semi-delirious. It's probably hard to tell with Jake, but calling out almost like chasing a cat or a dog and trying to get them who are reluctant to come to their own. They're calling out for spaghetti. And Jake, when you get within about 20 feet of the door, like right near where there is still just a massive blood smear that you left behind, you do see that off in a corner, a bit of rubble over the top of it, but nothing too much. Off to the left-hand side of where you are walking towards the door, you see a familiar flame come to life and is burning underneath the rubble, where you can see your spaghetti sword able for you to go and be collected.
There he is. Come here. Come back to your little arsonist. I found it. So was that a yes or a no? I forgot already. We doing more explosions?
No.
Maybe not for the moment. No. Don't waste it all now. What if we need it later? I mean, there's a bit of a hole here. Maybe we dig a tunnel. Maybe we might need a badger.
No.
Badger.
There has to be a way to open the door.
Can't go through it. Have to go under it.
Going on a bear
The
hunt.
badger can only dig through earth. This is more constructed material. It's not gonna
We believe in
work.
you.
But you special badger.
No,
You're a magic man, aren't you?
Magic badger.
No.
Is that not how it works?
Not
No,
badger?
it's not how it
You're
works.
not magic? I thought you
Not
were
magic.
magic.
I am magic. What was in that potion? Oh god. I don't know what to do. Should we just
If
go
in
back?
doubt, badger it out.
Can I
No.
go talk to the door while they're doing this?
What are you going to say to the
Absolutely, you
door?
can.
You're not going to be nasty.
Hey,
Mhm.
so do
You
you
did
come
try
here
and bluff
often?
up.
Looking really solid. I bet you could open up for any group. We'd be real lucky if you did for ours. You know, honestly, I didn't think I'd meet such a solid door down here. You must be proud of what you've accomplished. And those fireballs, brilliant explosions, really got my blood boiling.
And leaking.
To be fair, the blood didn't taste boiling in my mouth, but you understand, right? You know, we could always do some more explosions later, but we do need to get these guys out of here, so would you mind opening up? Please?
Zach, you're watching all of this, like with the investigation check you did, you are as certain as you can be that this is an inanimate, no spirit, soul, or self-awareness imbued in this at all. But you watch as Jake, for
Yep.
all intents and purposes, appears to be trying to seduce the door into opening. You're not exactly sure what's going on.
Oh, he's
Jake,
doing a good job.
you're those the
Why was
charm
it
and
so hard?
charisma that you that you have exercised on that door, like if it even had the smallest mote of sentience, there is no doubt that you would be every chance of
In.
having an all access pass to every wonder that it holds. But
Magical
unfortunately,
door of wonder.
despite your amazing efforts, the door is unresponsive to your charms. The rest of you, though, were you to turn around, Zach's a little bit weak at the knees and kind of leaning up at the, oh, fanning himself a little, yeah, the sheer passion of your presence. Oh,
Did the door open or no?
I don't think so. Wait, I got this. Can I have consent to inspect you? Please say nothing if I do.
yeah, the door says nothing.
Well,
I am now going to inspect you. If at any point you have a problem, please feel free to either open or tell me to stop. I'd like to inspect the door.
Yes. um, you have approached that with such an original take. You can give that a perception or an investigation. You choose what it is you are doing. Normally, I'd say inspection, you do an investigation, but I'll
I
let
did
you choose your
investigation
highest.
anyway. That's a
Okay.
21.
All right. Was that a natural 20 or a
Dirty.
dirty? Okay. Look, you pick up on a lot of the same things as what Zach has already mentioned to you. Like you see those same sigils, you see that strange writing that may or may not be writing, but it at the corner of your eyes, you're catching that glow, and that there's clearly power imbued in this door. You feel that same coolness to the touch. One thing you do pick up on that the interaction you had with the dynamite as well is it now becomes extraordinarily apparent to you, in addition to all the things you piece together with Zach and noticed yourself, that it appears that that central metallic, what is currently protruding, uh, the face of a dragon is what it appears to be. It's been called a lizard. Zach thought it was a dragon skull from his Game of Thrones experience. Um, Jake, with I'll give you the same thing. You're pretty confident that that looks like what you would know from fantasy books and shows and real world Earth stuff. That was is definitely looks like a dragon skull or a dragon head. But but with that investigation, you are really confident that there doesn't appear to be any overt traps. But it's certainly like you've experienced what happened when Zach touched that indentation, and then touched it a second time, and the fear pulsed out, and the explosions, it appears to have somehow sucked that energy in and shot it back out after it charged up. But you don't gather a lot more over what Zach has already kind of passed on to your group, other than what is now almost a certainty between the two of you that the key to opening that door rests in that metallic centerpiece.
So absorb dynamite, chucked out fireballs. Absorb getting hit on with love and respect's gonna chuck out what?
I don't know, but I'd like to pat the skull gently. Really hammer home that idea of friendship and
as you do, it melds inward again, so that protrusion folds and flows inward, and is now indenting into the door where it was protruding moments before.
well, I'm out of ideas, guys.
Does it like go in slowly, or does it just go out suddenly? Like go in suddenly, like it goes out.
So when you saw it go inward and then come back out with the fear pulse earlier, it kind of flowed inward. So that was a process that took maybe half a second. When it protruded back outward and that spell shockwave came out, that was near instantaneous.
How far inwards
It's
can it
pushed
go?
inward. The size of the skull, it's around 21, like, around 4 foot deep, 4 or 5 foot deep. It's a large skull and it has a depth to it.
Can I do dumb things? This is a direct question to the
Can
people
we
behind me.
I think you're
What
already
are you
done.
thinking? What's dumber than throwing dynamite at it?
Throwing myself at it.
I mean, didn't you just do that? I mean, you stopped short
No,
of
no,
asking why you drink.
the other kind of.
It'll extrude and hurt you again.
Have you thrown your entire body at it?
Oh,
Exactly.
No.
Maybe it just needs us to commit. Commitment's
Okay.
very important.
this could be funny. Do it.
God, as much as I enjoy watching you hurt yourself, I don't think it's a good idea.
Can I search the ground and see if there's a skull of some sort on it?
Oh,
Absolutely.
Oh.
So scout around, give it your perception or investigation. I know you normally do your perception. You're good at sniffing or licking things to investigate them. So I'd be happy for you to do either of those.
I barely even rolled, but whatever.
Are you doing? Oh, perception. I thought you had more bonuses than that. Yeah, the 7. Look, you.
Well, it rolled a 9 and it ended up with a 7, so make that make sense. Unless it was a 6, I think it might have been a 6.
I think it was a 6.
But
Is
the
that
dice
looking at-
just kind of like flopped onto the screen. It was really
Yeah.
disheartening.
I did see it come up.
Yeah, it was just like the.
I will say that with Fokionis having like done a bit of seeing what he could find out, and with what Zach and now Jake have shared, you don't find any skulls. But in picking up some of the stones that got dislodged from the dynamite, and then some that are that little bit further back that weren't damaged, what Fokionis kind of was pointing out, you can see that those scuff marks are quite spaced apart, and they appear that they could have or may have been made by quite large claws. Like, quite large in the way that they match the comparable size of that skull.
Big feet. You know what they say.
Big socks, expensive.
I
That's
say
right.
big hands.
So
Big shoes.
like. So is it like a dragon's like itself has come in and put his head?
The
where
dragon's den. I'm not
skull
going to be
is?
happy.
Because you rolled a 25, Zach, I'll leave it carry over from that, but yes. That's what it appears like to you with the pieces as everyone's sharing what they have sniffed out, looked at, picked up, investigated, hit on.
Yeah, so like to get through this door, we need to be a dragon.
If only someone could change shape.
Yeah,
Not to a
Zach.
dragon. Oh,
Isn't that just like a bigger
dragon's
budget?
not a beast. It's
What's a dragon then?
What is it?
I know it's not humanoid.
it's I can't. This wand won't let me turn anyone into a dragon. It doesn't work like that. Why don't
Okay.
you put your head in there and see what happens?
Put your head in the fucking what?
Yeah.
Put my head into the wall. Into the door.
Or
As
can
you do
change
so,
shape, just change into a dragon.
as you do so, Jake, you actually notice just as you're about to touch that metal, it's already starting to come back out. So even though you haven't touched it, it appears to already have been on like a slow moving return to its protrusion. As you touch it with your head, you are shoved forcibly backwards. And can I get this again? This is just for flavor, but can you give me a dexterity saving throw, please? We're just going to see what's happened as your forehead is touching this extremely cold to the touch metal that is now almost instantaneously shoving you away and shoving back out.
I love nat ones, don't you guys?
no.
So
And and with that, as it protrudes back out, that familiar shockwave washes over you guys again, but with the benefits of the hero's feast, you are still immune to that fear spell and you shrug it off. But Jake has gone from sliding on his face from the dynamite to sliding on his ass a good 5 or 6 feet back after being launched through the air by the door to the point that he's now at Alia's feet,
So
looking
that
up
didn't
at
work,
the
guys.
raccoon.
Any other things that you want me to throw towards the door?
Do you like getting hurt?
Why don't we stand in the footsteps?
God.
I'll stand in one and you stand in the other, and then we'll see if that's like maybe it's like a trigger plate. Pressure.
Do you want someone else to stand in the thing and I'll run once again towards the door?
I mean,
No.
no, but can you maybe change your hand into the shape of a dragon's and put it on the silvery doodad?
I do not think it works like that.
Oh, well,
Can I attempt that though?
Jake, you can try it.
we have to be standing in
You
the face.
find really rapidly that your hand just does not. Looking at the size of those claw marks, they are like those claws are bigger than your head, and your hand just doesn't morph or distort. The best you can do is a larger version of like a Focciona size hand, bigger again than that, and it's lizardy and scaly, because you're very familiar with what a lizard's claw looks like. So you managed to form a larger version of that on your hand. Are you touching the metallic skull protrusion with that?
No.
Okay.
I was told not to.
Right now, you can touch it when it's out, then just go in. Hey, don't we have a dragon with us?
Where's the Drake?
Fuck it, you know what? I'm gonna grab the Drake and shove his face right in there.
Oh my god!
It'll come back to life.
Oh
What
my
your
god!
intention's been all along.
So Alia scooping up her Drake, who's really excited for this kind of attention because a lot of the time has been spent sitting in darkness, being left behind in a tunnel while you guys are up talking to Glimmer and handing in quests and leaving
for your
Drake
sacrifice.
behind to stand guard. Is super excited and is like curling in and nuzzling into Alia's neck, and you can see there is just this moment of joy that turns like it's seen all of this unfold. It's not the most intelligent creature, but like it's seen some shit go down with you guys in the last few minutes. And then next thing you know, it's taken off Alia's neck and picked up, because Alia has to reach right up to get to the bottom of the skull where the bottom of the nose section is, and just pushing the face of the Drake, who's trying to crawl back away from the skull, and the skull just folds inward again. As you said you're going to push the face in there, so you follow it with the Drake. But it's basically now this Drake mashed into the like nostril slash bottom lip cavity, and it just smushes in there, and that face protrudes back out again. Did you say you can roll dexterity saving throws for your Drake?
Yeah, I think so.
Can you roll one for you and for your Drake, please? Oh my God.
Mine's a 23.
Yep.
Drake's
So-
an 8.
You kind of had an idea in mind of what was probably going to happen here, but you wanted to try it anyway. And you feel like just as you're pushing the Drake's face in, you're already seeing that metal getting ready to shoot back out, and you just quickly let go of your hands. But you let go of your hands, and the Drake is sort of drops maybe a centimeter into that nestled nook and sort of has a moment of, oh. And then the face shoots back out again, and your Drake goes sailing over the top of the group behind you, skidding along the floor about 20 feet behind you, gets up, shakes itself off, kind of looks reapproachfully at Alia, but as a dutiful companion does, comes trotting back. But
Dumbass.
definitely does not try and climb up Alia for a cuddles, but just sort of goes and nuzzles in with Brutus and looks at Alia reproachfully. Ferret went flying and hasn't got his wings yet.
Yeah, so
You just made a ferret cannon out of the door.
yeah.
Oh my
So
God.
the skull has holes in it, doesn't it? So can we like see through to the other side?
No, it's a solid
I'll
metal.
leave it the Drake skull then. It's like Jesus.
I
Yeah,
think we
so-
should probably come back to this now. We need help.
Nah.
Nah,
So-
we got this.
Zach, just to answer your question more clearly. So when it's protruding out, it looks like a dragon head, dragon skull. So it's all pushing outwards. When it turns back inwards, it's really clear, like the way those protrusions and divots, head inward. They support your theory that what appears to be a dragon face or skull is pushed in there where it will sit into those grooves, because they're all pushing back inwards, but there's no gaps, there's no holes. That metal is solid when it protrudes, and it's solid when it inverts. It just fluidly moves between those two states, or rapidly pushes through those two states. It just happens that fear is washing over you all. You're not being scared away at all. You're shaking it off, despite the protection mechanisms. You're currently immune to that effect.
Yeah, I don't think we're getting through this, guy.
Why I said I think we need help. Do you not listen?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, smart
Oh, good.
thinking, Alia. Smartest thing I've heard all day. Alright, let's go back out then. I guess. See
We-
more.
We're
and
going back the way we
take
came.
Advice.
I hope, it's off to work we go.
Can we take shortcut? Or no?
Oh, like through Mish's shop.
Maybe.
Let's knock
Yeah.
on the floor again.
Knock on the floor. Yeah.
Let's
On heaven's door.
Let's try.
Just
That's
we
what the
can't be
Drake did.
bothered walking for 5 minutes, so can you please tear a hole in your floor for
5 minutes. It took us fucking 2 months to get there.
if you're looking for a time to go back through the waterway, etc., and get your way back through to Glimmer's shop, like you've traversed that many times now. You found the last couple of times you came through that where Vocionus nearly got castrated has been. You didn't have those same sense of danger. No traps were set off in that space, so you can probably be in Glimmer's shop from where you're currently standing in, I'd say, 20 minutes or less. I mean, if you decided to run, you'll get there much quicker, but just at your normal moving, kind of walking rapidly and at a sustainable speed, you can be there in under 20 minutes back in the shop.
Yeah, let's just walk back.
Alright.
Alright.
Yeah, let's do
I-
that.
I think it'd be nice to ask Mish to tear a hole in her
Daisy?
door.
Go on, I dare you.
Have you thought about the trapdoor? Maybe that's a conversation best had face to face, not face to floor.
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
Just redecorating.
Don't mind us. I'm just
Yeah.
expanding down.
This is where you wanted the trapdoor, right?
You wanted
Oh.
the cellar, yes?
What are you doing, guys?
Yeah,
We're
we're
walking
walking back
Yeah,
to
we're
Glimmer.
We're going back.
Sure.
There was a potential of going and knocking underneath Mish's floor again, so I wasn't sure. I
Yeah.
wasn't sure what you were doing. All right. So as you head back through again, you traverse all of that distance without any kind of issue. When you get to back to the shop and where Gregory had been boarding things up, you see that there's a much more permanent structure there, but enough room has been left for you guys to get through. But there is certainly some reinforced brick and stone, and Zachary, you notice a little bit of a magical glow to the work that's being completed so far, that there's definitely something that's being done to make this a quite a reinforced structure. But there's enough space there for you guys to get through, heading back up through the cellar itself. Gregory's not actually standing there at this point. Back up through the trap door, and there's a big sign, like written huge so that you can't miss it as you guys come up through the trap door, that is this beautiful, neat script that pretty fair to assume that Glimmer has written, that just says, "Gone to the pub for the show. Feel free to join us for a pint." And that is just perched there. Like it's a big, massive piece of card designed to not be missed. It's right in your eye line as you climb up out of the cellar itself. And then in little like script at the bottom, lock the door pull the door shut behind you on the way out.
To the pub. Let's go.
Yeah, I could use
To
this.
the pub we go then.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So as you guys head out of Glimmers, I'm assuming whoever's last out is pulling the door shut behind you, being courteous.
Yes.
Yep. And you hear
Totally.
that latch, and then whoever's last through, but you can all hear it. It's audible. As it latches, it doesn't just latch once. You hear this series of clicks and locks and latches, and like there is a lot of shit going on with that door automatically, that for what it looks like just a simple little lock. Glimmer appears to have stepped up her security and is taking that safety very seriously. As you head back through, let me zoom out a bit. Where are you guys at the moment? You're at Glimmers. Just got to figure out exactly where.
So we're going
Walking
to
through.
11.
Yes, you're heading towards the only pub you've spied is the Griffin's Rest Inn. So from Glimmers, it's a fairly straight shot through. You've got an entrance, like you don't need to follow the tunnel. You've got an entrance to the world between quite near you, and you can hear the pub itself before you even see it. There does not appear to be many people on the streets at all. It seems like people have pulled indoors with the announcement of the episode airing. As you get closer to like a little beer garden area that's out in the central forecourt, that's basically between the 4 and the 11 on the map, that's empty. But up across the pub, where it hasn't previously been there before, is a big, like, crude, kind of like maybe charcoal and paint and tar, but it's been quickly whipped together, very clearly quickly whipped together. That's got viewing party, happy hour, now, until, and then just a question mark. that is hung up out the front of the pub. There's the like old Western saloon style swing doors on the pub, but it's got one of those shimmering barricades like the safe room does. But the entry itself is, the stereotypical swing door entryway. And even with like that shimmering barrier, you can hear the sounds of raucous laughter and drinking and music coming from inside. Are you guys heading in?
How much time do we have left on the countdown? Do we know? Are we aware of that?
No, we can watch it in the pub.
We
like,
could watch the thing we're supposed to be in.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's the recap episode that's been announced.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
it's
Yeah,
the you
so it's
have
already
seen
been
one of those
recorded.
before.
We're fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or
yeah,
do you want to watch it with more?
We were
like,
courteously invited for a beverage, so I believe we should partake in
Yeah.
at least one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or 10.
All right. And as you all step through the sounds and the smells of the Griffin Rest Inn, actually seeing it from the ground floor this time as opposed from inside the cellar meets you. It's a huge structure. It's got multiple stories and mezzanine flooring. There's tables scattered throughout. There's everything from, it's all very kind of heavy timber, wine barrels, beer barrels, lots of standing room. It's definitely not a high-end restaurant. There's multiple log fires around the venue that are providing lighting. There's also like candelabras hanging from the ceiling, and I think I always get the word pronunciation wrong, sconces with the torches around the walls. It is a warm, inviting spectacle that you guys walk into, and just as you step foot in, you notice that up on one of the big walls is a countdown towards the episode airing, which has just under an hour um, remaining. And as you step foot in, that counter goes away, and the Borat Corporation logo comes up with the word Borat underneath it, and kind of like a stylized fish that's very similar to those ones that you guys saw as you were walking down the stairs to very first enter the dungeon, and gives you some shudders and some bad memories. But out of nowhere, you just see this pint glass, like a Guinness pint glass, spinning with liquid flicking out of it as it spins through the air, smashes into the wall. And when you look to see where it comes from, you see Glimmer perched up on Gregory's back, pouring another glass, looking ready to throw this one again, going, "Fuck you, you fishy cunts." And that's where we're going to leave it.
That's funny.
Fishy cunt.
Aren't they one and
That's
the
not going
same?
to be the title of the episode.
Yes, it is.
I mean, I feel like it should be.
I don't know how
I don't-
YouTube's gonna
Just
react
think
to that
that
one.
was the main focus of the episode. I think the main focus is that door.
Oh, bloody train door.
The
I'm going to
wall
flirt with that door.
Oh my god, the
Hey,
door.
you're a girl dragon. I mean, of course you're a girl.
Can't wait to actually seduce a dragon.
I'm so impressed with your efforts at door seduction. That
How
was
does one seduce a door?
Yeah, it's so good.
Oh, look at your hinges.
Look,
Yeah.
I don't know how one actually does it, but I
Like,
will say
well,
that I was
words.
extremely impressed at your efforts. That was spectacular.
God damn.
I should have talked about how shiny it looked.
If you go back down to it, maybe you can have another go. Maybe you'll have some chances to refine your door seduction techniques.
Door talk.
Maybe I should try talking
Oh.
with like Gregory. Wasn't that his name?
Yep, Gregory the Golem.
Yeah, he's like half inanimate and like half a moving thing. Maybe he's got tips.
Part door.
Maybe.
He works with doors a lot. Maybe he knows.
Maybe he knows how to rub them the right way.
How to get them to open up to him.
My God.
Oh,
I've got no idea what we're going to call this episode. Oh.
Oh, we know what you're going to call it.
No,
know
I'm
what
not
you should
doing
call
that. I'm not
Why
doing
not?
Glimmer's little.
Alright, cool.
That was a little bit of joy to finish the episode with for you guys. For you guys in Twitch land, we're about to raid out. Enjoy Corsair Cove. Thanks for hanging. Peace. Love you all. Check out the VOD on YouTube. And while you're there, like and subscribe. Thanks for hanging out with us. Bye, Twitch World.
See ya.
Hey. So yeah, I can't turn into a dragon with polymorph, but it can turn into a dinosaur. Do you
I
think that would have been
mean,
similar enough? I don't know.
Yes, surely.
Like a
Why can't you turn
stegosaurus.
into a dragon? Out of curiosity, is that like
Because
a hard and fast rule or a
it's not.
decision?
Yeah, it is. It's can only turn into a beast.
What's a
And
dragon if it's not a beast?
The dragon.
dragons.
Oh,
Yes,
it's the
dragon.
dragon. Fucking dragons.
It's classified
like-
as a dragon, so he can't.
So
Yeah, you can't turn into like monstrosities or.
bit of a pain you couldn't turn into a key.
And it's like Jake mentioned to you guys when you second meeting of him, Jake mentioned that he can only go into humanoids, so he can kind of go up to, I think it's Goliaths and then down to the
Mm,
gnomes.
I've got to
But
meet them first.
True.
I can't willy-nilly
Can't
turn
imagine.
into just another kind of elf. I have to actually have seen an elf and use that as my reference.
Gotcha.
On that note, I'm going to bed because I only got 5 hours sleep last night.
Well, go sleep.
go to sleep.
no worries.
night,
Thank
Rita.
you
Because I
for
noticed there was a new season of Star Trek Discovery,
Oh,
or a season I hadn't watched, and
so you watched it all.
that led to one more episode.
Well, thank you for
1:30 in the morning.
hanging despite all of that and for creating a Drake launching cannon.
Dude, Drake is going through it.
No worries.
Oh,
Good night,
good
peeps.
times.
Yeah.
Night, mate. Oh, that door. My goodness.
That's quite funny.
You paid out on me for how long you talked to Serena, and you guys just spent an hour and a half
Talking to a door. Yeah, it's not locked for me that way.
talking to a door, trying to seduce a door, touching a door, licking a door.
We were
Exactly.
like, it has to open
We're
somehow,
trying to
right?
open
We're
it.
like
We're just
trying
to see what
different
was on the other
things,
side.
You
and
absolutely were.
don't know.
It didn't work.
Now we know what
Yeah.
not to do next time.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
And we know that talking about doors is what gets people going.
Oh yeah. Get your
Door talk.
hinges moving.
God damn it.
Oh,
I
dear.
just don't know what you're going to call this episode.
Say that again.
Yeah,
I just don't know what you're going to call this episode.
call it the dragon head door.
The door is
Or
open.
the exploding door.
Door one, party nil.
The backfire.
How
Like-
not to open a door.
Yeah,
Door seduction 101 with Jake.
that's it.
First, see what material the door is made of. Can you make specific comments about it? Is its wood hard, shimmery, thick? Is its metal shiny? Can you see your own face in it?
Is it looking?
We did cover a lot of those things actually. Maybe we might end up making it how to launch your dragon.
Maybe. Yeah, I'm pretty tired too. I'm gonna go to bed.
No
Ah.
worries, mate.
Good night.
Thanks for
Thank you
playing.
for the
See
game. Bye.
Yeah.
See you, mate.